Hello, my name is Stasia Forsythe Siena. I teach the Alexander technique at CCPA. I am also a registered yoga teacher. This sequence we're going to do is short by design. It's meant as a reset for your mind and body. Anytime you feel tension or stress, or anytime you simply need what I like to call a change of climate in yourself. Let's get started. First of all, a couple of tips. If you have one, you're going to roll out a yoga mat on the floor. The other tip is anytime you do a little bit of a back bend in yoga, you want to be really paying attention to the head and neck. So you don't want to look up and allow your head and neck to crunch back. Anytime you look up, you want to allow the entire torso to extend all the way through. All right, so we'll get started with the sequence. All right, so if you have it, you're going to lay your mat down on the floor. If you don't, it's fine. You can practice right on a floor or on a carpet. You're going to place your feet about 6 inches apart, kind of parallel like the letter H. And we're going to start with a little breathing, and you're just going to follow along, and I may give a few tips and instructions, and as you work with this sequence you'll get better and better at doing it on your own. All right, so we're just going to start by warming up just a little bit with some little bounces and some arm swings. Now arm swings, you're going to look behind yourself and allow your arms to just go back and forth. A bit of breathing. The breathing, you're going to inhale through the back of the throat, bringing the arms up. And then exhaling all the way down. You're going to inhale. My arms are just going above. Don't mean for you to bend your knees. And then you're going to exhale. I just want to show you how it looks at the top of that inhale. So you inhale, drawing in the air through the back of the throat. It sounds a bit like a snore. And then exhaling. And bring your arms up through the front. Interlace your fingers, changing the breath path to a pranayama breathing as we inhale. And exhale, you're going to look up. Don't crunch your head back. Exhale through the mouth. Elbows stay high. Inhale, head down. Elbows come up, stretching through the rib cage as you exhale. H-A-ha sound, pressing all the air out. Good, inhale, head comes down, elbows come up. Everything is nice and firm through the thighs. Don't push your knees too far back. And exhale. Inhale. Head down. Still breathing in through the back of the throat. That snore sound sounds like an S-O, so ha on the exhalation. And one more inhalation. Elbows up, head goes up and back. Don't crunch back on the top of your head or into the back of your neck. Bring your elbows together and arms down by your side. Good. Inhale your arms up overhead. I'm just going to show you the grip. Interlace the fingers. Stretch your index finger up toward the ceiling like the hands on a clock, and now like a windshield wiper, just back and forth, stretching the side body. Just a few times. And then you're going to inhale again. This is what it looks like overhead. You're inhaling, stretch up through the center, elongating and go up and over to the right. You'll see a half moon shape on the left side of the body. Hips come a bit to the left, balancing with the head to the right. And stretch. Inhale, come on back up through the center. Again, right up through the middle of the body, up and over to the left, like you're going in between two panes of glass. Your hips come to the right, head goes to the left. And stretch. And stretch. Inhale, come on back up through the center. Once more, lengthen, elongate your spine, and then a gentle back bend. Just looking up, arms stay with your ears. Pelvis comes a little bit forward. Look back, go back, way back, and come on up. You want to make sure to stretch that backward bend all the way from your tailbone to the top of your head. Again, no crunching back. So from here, you're going to do a forward bend at the hip joint, keeping your back quite flat. I'll go to the side so you can kind of see what it looks like. Stretch your fingertips down toward the ceiling and then lift your hips up toward the sky, lengthening the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. And you can walk it out, if you like, with a little right and left. Arms and come back together into that steeple grip, interlaced fingers, stretching back up to the ceiling, and arms come down by your side. We'll do one little awkward pose. Again, the feet are like the letter H. The arms come up in front of you. The triceps are nice and tight. You're going to stretch the hip joints back, hips back, fingertips forward, knees are bending, hips, knees, elbows, hands, everything is about 6 inches apart, stretching forward, stretching back, and come on up. Come up to your stretch your fingertips forward and come up onto the balls of your feet. Really good strengthening for the arches of the feet. Just a quick tip, if you're someone who is working on balance, you can always grab a chair. And then when you go up onto the balls of your feet, you can just balance with the chair and even put one arm out in front of you. And then both arms. And then your heels come down to the side. Working on a little bit more balance, we're going to shift our weight to our left foot, bring up your right foot, hold underneath it, and then bring yourself right up to standing. Now for some of you, if you can't get a hold of your foot, you can just bring your right foot up at about a right angle. Think about lengthening your spine up, balancing over both sit bones, even though you're in standing, and change. Right leg comes down, left leg comes up. If you're able, you can reach down, take a hold of your foot, and then just give that lower back a bit of a stretch by standing up. And then the left leg comes down by the side. Good. And in between, if you feel you need to, you can do a little bit of the arm swing. Let the body rotate. Moving on to a quad stretch that would set you up for something called standing bow pose. For today, just going to do one of two grips. You can either bring your arm down to the side and grab the inside of your ankle. If that's too difficult, you can bring your arm down and grab the outside of your ankle. Okay? Arm comes out, grab the ankle, find your balance. Left arm comes straight out and then goes up overhead. And you start stretching, kicking your right leg back and up as far as you can, keeping everything nice and aligned, stretching up and back, and eventually coming forward into a standing bow. Whoop. Coming back up. Left arm comes up, Grab the inside at the ankle or the outside of the ankle. Stretch your knee down in alignment with your other knee, left knee, right knee, quite close to each other. The left shoulder coming back. Bit of a rotation. Right arm comes up in front of you. Stretch the right arm up. Inhale as you kick the left leg back and up. Feel the stretch through the quad. And you can just hang out right here, or you can move forward, kicking the left foot up, coming up through the center of your head, as you can see, and then coming back up to standing. Quick tip, working on balance. Again, your chair is the friend. You can balance here. Take a hold of your foot. And then eventually you can even tip the chair forward. And stretch back like that. All right, standing bow. I'm going to set up for what's called balancing stick. This is just the preliminary move. The toes and heels come together, arms come up overhead, stretch up, the right foot comes forward, stretch up through the center, and then your left toes stretch back into a nice arc through the whole body. Left foot comes back, stretch up, left foot forward, balancing on the left foot, the right foot is behind. Notice what's happening with your pelvis, your hips. They should be in alignment. Stretching forward, stretching back, and eventually you'll turn on that hip joint and bring yourself into what's called a balancing stick. Stretching forward. And then come on down, arms by your side. We're going to move from that balancing series into a couple of stretching poses. You'll see I'm going to turn to the side here. Arms come up over the head. I stretch my feet out, so about wrist width apart. And then I'm going to do a little swan dive. I'm looking forward, stretching forward, allowing the hamstrings to stay nice and long as I come down through the front. Some of you may have access to a little bit more length, and you might be able to stretch the crown of your head all the way to the floor. If not, you can hang out here, balance with your fingertips on the floor, and allow your elbows to bend, and maybe even grabbing the outsides of your feet. Just watching that the back doesn't get too slumped, and then come on up. Paying attention to your knees, being careful of your knees. Stay in this position, turn your right foot out. I'll show you in the camera. It's going to look like this, pointing at the wall opposite you. Fingertips come out. Actually, I'll show you to the side. Fingertips come out. The knee is right out over the ankle. You're going to drop your right hand down and your left arm comes up. This is called a triangle. You're going to look up at the left hand. You can stay here in a little mini triangle, or you can extend your fingertips down and stretch up in a deeper triangle. Good. Really important that you pay attention to the knee. The right foot comes in, the left foot goes out, arms come out. You're going to look in the direction of your left hand, left knee never out beyond the ankle. If anything, the knee is a little bit ahead of the ankle so that you don't put stress on the knee. Left hand comes down. Inhale as the right arm comes up. Stretch the fingertips down, looking up, looking down. And come on up. Arms come up overhead and arms come down by your side. So we're going to finish up our little standing series with a tree pose. You're going to come back to the middle of your mats and towels. Bring your left foot up. Palm is facing the ceiling. Sole of the foot up toward the sky. Be careful of your left knee. Bring your left hand up into Namaskar. Focus. Balance. And change. The left foot comes down. And then the right foot comes up. Again, sole is facing the ceiling. If you've got difficult knees, just hold on to your knee. Yeah, hold on to the leg. You need to regain your balance. Be careful of that right knee. Bring your right hand up. Lengthening all along the spine, shoulders to the walls opposite you. Focus. Change. The right leg comes down. We're going to turn around and lie down into Savasana. You're going to come this way. Feet stretch out. Palms facing the ceiling. And just a couple moments here on the floor. As you reach the floor, just allowing the floor to support you. Notice your breath coming in and out. And when you feel your body coordinating on the floor, feel comfortable, just bring both knees up. You can grasp over them, and you're just going to do a little lower back stretch, drawing the knees in, back and forth. Even maybe a little circle to the right, a circle to the left. Breathing through it all. Good, and then let the legs come down. Into Savasana. You can do a little sit up here, or if you have a bad back or any pain in your back, you can just roll to the side. Your arms can come up overhead. You inhale, and then sit up as you exhale. Let your knees be soft as you come on up. We're going to do what's called a Cobra Pose. In yoga, we're often alternating what's called a flexion or primary curve with an extensory curve toward the back. There's so much pulling down. I'm going to move my screen a bit. And slumping in our lives that can be helpful to balance those forward curves with some extension. So the Cobra, you come down on your belly. Toes are pointing behind you. You start with your fingertips aligned with the top of your shoulders. The elbows are close to the body. You're going to look up and come up. Make sure that you're not pushing in with your hands. You're just allowing your back to bring you up. Don't push too hard into your lower back. Feet are glued to the floor, and then come on down. Turn your head to the right. Your left ear is on the towel. And just take a good breath. And then move that into a modified full locust where the arms come out. Again, your toes are pointing to the wall behind you, and you gently lift the front body up off the floor, and the legs come up off the floor like you're flying. And you tighten up all the muscles, and then let it go. Turn your head to the left, your right ear is on the towel. Just let it all go. Then you're going to push yourself up. And again, in that alternating between extension and flexion, we're going to do a couple more postures. This is another flexion forward posture. You're going to bring your arms up over your head, half tortoise, interlace, and this one actually just cross the thumbs, hands come up, and then you're going to bend forward at the hips.
Stretch your arms forward, hips stretch back. Breathe into your back, stretching forward, stretching back. It's really good to bring oxygenated blood to the brain. This is an energizing posture. Going to inhale, keep your arms close to your ears.
As you come on back up, arms down by your side. And then you come right on up to your knees. Bring your hands back around to the backs of your pelvis. Yeah, like you have your hands in your back pocket. And then allow yourself to move into a little bit of a backward bend. This is called Camel. A full camel would involve bringing your hands down here, but for a little reset, we're not going to do that. We're just going to bend backward, pushing the pelvis forward, sending the head back. Don't crunch back, don't hinge too far back with the head. Change, good. Come on up. And then come back down over your heels. This concludes actually the sequence, and in a moment we're going to get down on the floor to the add-on if you have extra time. Well done, everyone. Hats off for supporting your physical, mental, and emotional well-being through movement, breath, and stillness. If you have a few extra moments, I'm going to encourage you to join me in Savasana, where we're going to just lie back on the floor. Palms are facing up. Anytime you can end your practice with a rejuvenating moment, a restorative moment, where you allow the floor to support you, paying attention to your breath, noticing the inhalation and exhalation. Just letting everything go, sinking into the floor. Gentle focus on the ceiling. And then to close your practice, you might close your eyes. Just set your intentions for the next few moments of your day. Thank you to every one of you for practicing your yoga. I wish you ease today and every day. Namaste.